Hello everyone, my name is Hunter here at Weather on the Go on this Monday evening, August the 11th, 2025, and welcome back. Hope everybody's having a wonderful start to their week out there. We have severe weather we're talking about in a major heat wave, and everybody's attention is on Tropical Storm Erin, that is with an E, that is in the Atlantic Ocean, and we're going to talk about that in this video. So if you would please like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. Obviously subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed right now, so you don't miss a beat on your weather forecast out your door. Anytime throughout the fall, the winter, spring, summer, we cover it all. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do daily forecasts. Make sure to do so. Thank you. Looking at our temperatures that we saw this afternoon, it was a hot one, okay? No mistake there. Across the west, very hot into the 90s, triple-digit heat, in fact, in the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, Oregon, and Southwest Idaho. It was another warm day. I wouldn't call it scorching hot because it's been hotter in Texas this summer, but definitely pretty warm out there into the mid and upper 90s. That stretches all the way up to the lower Ohio River Valley, where we saw mid-90s in places like Louisville and Paducah this afternoon. In contrast, there's a boundary setting up here from southern Lake Michigan all the way back into southeast Kansas. On the cool side of that, we saw highs into the 80s this afternoon. Here we go with our temperatures Tuesday morning, and notice it's a little bit cooler across the northern Rockies out here, but some record warm low temperatures are favored for the Pacific Northwest. That's where you see these circles, where lows could be in the 60s. Now you think to yourself, well, this is actually not really that warm. Well, the Pacific Northwest doesn't typically see these temperatures for lows very often. Your lows are typically into the 50s this time of year, and we're going to be in the 60s. So that's what we start with here on Tuesday. Going through the rest of the work week, taking you through Sunday, August 17th, temperatures will tend to be warmer across the United States outside of the southeast or southern Canada. And you can see our temperatures as we go into Tuesday afternoon. We're back into the triple digits, even some record highs down here in Southern California, Southern Nevada, and Western Arizona. More cool air into the upper Midwest with the boundary pushing to the south. That will promise 70s and some lower humidity for Tuesday, but don't get so used to that into the upper Midwest because the heat starts to come back Wednesday, but more so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that will bring back storm chances. Now, let's look at the storm chances here in the short term. We do have a couple of areas where we could have some isolated severe weather in the dark green. That is a 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. That's, again, where isolated severe storms are possible, which means not a lot of us will see these, but there could be some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. One area up in the eastern North Dakota and northern Minnesota. Another area into northern Missouri, and then a third area from New Mexico, Texas, and into Oklahoma. Quarter-size hail will be possible in many of those same areas, and the tornado threat is greatest in northwestern Missouri as we go through the rest of today. It's a 2% chance in green, and that's within a 25-mile radius of any given point in or around this area. Extending into the day tomorrow on Tuesday, August 12th, we have more severe weather. Again, isolated coverage is the word across the upper peninsula of Michigan into eastern Wisconsin, or from lower Michigan into northern Indiana and northwest Ohio back into northeastern Illinois. And we have some monsoonal flow that could produce some severe weather in southeastern Arizona tomorrow as well. But thankfully, it's only a damaging wind hail threat. While that obviously can cause damage, we're not looking at a tornado threat, okay? So that is the thankful thing, is that tornadoes are unlikely as we go through the day on Tuesday. Let's first look at the central U.S. view first. We'll look at the eastern U.S. second, then the western United States third. In the blue, that is clearing. In the white, that is cloud cover. And the green is some showers and storms. So here at 6 o'clock this evening, got a lot of different areas of scattered showers and storms. And notice there's a lot of gaps in between them. So not all of us will see those, but where they do occur, there could be damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, quarter-size hail. And again, the tornado threat is greatest across northwestern Missouri as we go through the rest of this evening. Some of those storms may crash into northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin overnight into daybreak on Tuesday, bringing some locally heavy downpours. And we know that the Milwaukee area, the Wisconsin State Fair, was inundated by a lot of heavy rainfall. they don't need any more heavy rain. So watch out there in the Milwaukee area. Tuesday morning, we could be seeing some more heavy rainfall, which could exacerbate some of the flooding issues across those areas. Going into Tuesday afternoon, sun-splashed skies, few clouds across the northern plains, upper Midwest. Storm action is a little bit further to the south into the Red River Valley and towards Texas and Oklahoma, or the lower Mississippi Valley like Arkansas, Louisiana, and southeastern Missouri, again on a scattered basis. Rainfall will be heaviest in central Oklahoma, so the Sooner State could be seeing over 2 inches of rain near Oklahoma City up toward Tulsa, and then more hit or miss, maybe up to an inch totals, including the Chicagoland area, St. Louis, Kansas City, and Detroit. Keeping a very close eye on that through Wednesday morning. Eastern U.S., it was a bright sunny day actually across the Ohio Valley into the Northeast and parts of the Mid-Atlantic here today. That does continue as a wonderful sunset is expected across those areas. Cloud cover a little bit thicker and lowering across the southeast will promise some showers and storms tonight, but especially very numerous in storm action across Georgia, Carolinas, and Florida as we go into the day on Tuesday, and some storms up there into the Ohio Valley from west to east, scattered though. So we're not going to mean, that doesn't mean everybody will see these storms. I want you to take that very clearly because there will be people that probably say, well, you said there's going to be thunderstorms in Ohio. Well, there are, but maybe not for your backyard. So that is what I mean. And where they do occur, we could potentially see a quarter, half an inch of rainfall. Pretty dry though on the I-95 corridor, Boston, Hartford, New York City, as we go through the Wednesday morning time frame. Out west, we are looking at a lot of sunshine. Monsoonal flow creating a few thunderstorms here overnight tonight across eastern New Mexico. Other than that, we'll see more storms popping up at the heat of the day on Tuesday from Colorado down there into New Mexico and southeastern Arizona. One or two of those storms could produce some gustier winds to 60 miles per hour primarily and some quarter-size hail. The tornado threat is very low. A lot of sunshine out west, especially the further west you go. So the immediate west coast will be very sunny and dry as we go through the midweek time frame. This takes you through 7 a.m. on Wednesday, August the 13th. Now, speaking of Wednesday, August 13th, another threat for severe weather, mainly confined to the Dakotas and more so into South Dakota as we go into Wednesday. Isolated storm or two could produce some damaging wind gusts. That is the main threat, followed by hail and tornadoes, which are probably more unlikely. Wednesday afternoon, we're going to be watching the eastern seaboard for more scattered storm development. Those are your general garden variety storms, so I'm not expecting any severe weather. The shear is actually further up to the north here toward the Hudson Bay with the low pressure system way up there. It's a lot weaker further to the south. As we go into Thursday, we're going to see more storms in clusters across the Dakotas. That will drift eastward into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Low pressure system occluding, as we've seen it multiple times the last couple of weeks, up into Saskatchewan and Manitoba. And then the weekend comes along and yet again we have more storm clusters, although as the heat breaks down, we're going to see that step down each day further to the south this weekend, and that could bring some heavy rainfall and severe weather events. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, get ready. We're going to see some pretty heavy thunderstorms as we go, especially late this week and into the weekend. Some areas could see more than 4 inches of rain, and just like Milwaukee showed the other day, there could be areas, the Twin Cities, Duluth, La Crosse, Bismarck, Fargo, a lot of big cities here, a lot of urban areas where the water could run off and cause some flash flooding. So be ready for that potential later this week and into this upcoming weekend. Long range part of the forecast next week, Monday, August 18th through Friday, August 22nd. Ridge is anchored out here into the Four Corners region, a little bit lowering of the pressure across the eastern seaboard. That is due to a tropical system arriving into the western Atlantic. But underneath of that ridge, we're going to be seeing a lot of heat building. So as we go into next week, going to be pretty hot out there in the Rockies. The precipitation trends will be southern Canada into the Midwest and Great Lakes again, much like we've seen all summer long. And then we have drier weather underneath of that ridge, the Rockies, the central southern plains, and into the lower Mississippi Valley, tending to be drier as we go between Monday, August 18th and Friday, August 22nd. Next week. Now let's talk about the Atlantic Ocean. We have Tropical Storm Erin that has formed, and that is Erin with an E. That is just to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands of Africa, and that is moving into the central main development region over the next couple of days. And right now, as of this video, Tropical Storm Erin has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. Moving quickly to the west at 21 miles per hour, so it's actually gotten a little bit faster since we talked earlier. It was only at 20 miles per hour movement earlier, 21 miles per hour due west right now. Notice the M on the forecast cone that the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida has posted. North and east to Puerto Rico. That is a major hurricane, Category 3 expected by Saturday afternoon. And the forecast cone takes that, again, north and east of the Leeward Islands and north and east of Puerto Rico. So let's look at that here. The system is way off to the east of the Leeward Islands. We're talking thousands of miles away from there and thousands of miles away from the United States. So there's still plenty of time to watch this feature. Here's the European ensemble guidance, and notice all the L's here is showing the track potential for this system. Majority, probably 90% of the ensemble guidance pushes this north of the Greater Antilles and the Leeward Islands, which means areas near the Bahamas and Bermuda need to start watching this as we go towards the weekend and especially into early next week. A couple stragglers, though, are hanging south, so we got to keep an eye on that. The GFS ensemble guidance has less members, but it does show the majority of them taking that turn as a stronger hurricane would tend to gain latitude, and that would push it towards either the eastern Bahamas or towards Bermuda, or maybe even in between the two. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this. Again, multiple days away from this system, and right now a United States landfall appears unlikely, but it's still something we have to keep an eye on. Now, with it moving west, a Category 3 hurricane is definitely likely, and you can see why. The thermodynamic parameter space in the southwest Atlantic Ocean is very, very warm, right? We're seeing temperatures here that are well above the historical average. So if you correlate that to a system, likely going to strengthen, right? Hurricanes love warm waters. They love no wind shear. So, and we have a lot of warm water out here. This system will thrive. So we're going to keep a very close eye on it, especially again for the eastern Bahamas and Bermuda. But of course, still monitor this if you live along anywhere of the East Coast, Florida to Maine and Nova Scotia there in Atlantic Canada. But I will say that right now, with the latest guidance, it looks unlikely for a landfall. That could change though as this evolves over the next few days. Thank you all for watching. That's all the weather talk I have for you this evening in today's update. Make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. Please get the word out there. By doing so, it helps out in a very big way. Subscribe to the channel if you like these weather forecasts that are detailed, life-saving, and informative. Make sure to subscribe to my channel as we'll have another daily forecast update for you tomorrow and beyond. So we're going to have daily updates here on this system and the mainland United States and southern Canadian weather as well. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for all your support, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of their Monday out there.